Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shadow, and I hope you guys had a happy holiday. So today I'm going to be bringing you a deck profile of one of my older decks, my Agent deck. So before we get into it, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you haven't yet. And please comment down the section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you on that. I always love reading comments. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of any other deck profiles that I'm going to do. And before I do this deck profile, I wanted to actually make a announcement probably within the next month or so. Before then, preferably in the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing my own progression series of this game. The first deck that I'm going to be showing you is going to be more of an older deck. It's pre-GOAT, and it's going to take place during the Android format. And what I'm going to do is every few weeks I'm going to update it for like the next booster to come out after that. So it's going to start out with the first 4 boosters, so the first 4 sets of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which all came out in 2002, and then from there I'm going to start working on it until I get possibly to Ancient Sanctuary or more, depending on it. I'd like to actually finish it and get to the actual GOAT format of like in 2005. Kind of just like a trip down memory lane, and just to show you what kind of deck that I would be playing with at that time. And I think it would be really, really fun. So if you'd like to see that, just make a comment on that. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this deck is really, really fun because you can do a lot with it. And it's one of the very few light decks that I actually really enjoy. A lot of light decks don't get a whole lot of support compared to like, because there's so many different archetypes for like dark and like sub archetypes and stuff. So it's nice to actually see this. And I've really enjoyed this deck ever since it came out in Ancient Sanctuary, but back then it had like 0 support at all, except for like the main cards and then Sanctuary in the Sky. But this deck is really fun because it can be competitive, and it is actually pretty fast. It's mainly it's a synchro deck, but you have other stuff in there too. The first card is going to be Master Hyperion, and he's the main center of this deck. What he does is I can special summon him from my hand by removing from play 1 agent monster in my hand, field, or graveyard, and then once per turn, if I remove from play a light monster, a light fairy type monster from a graveyard, to select a card on the field and destroy it. And if Sanctuary in the Sky is on the field when I activate this effect, I can use it up to twice per turn, meaning I can destroy and pop cards twice per turn with that, which makes it really, really good to destroy your opponent's backfield or destroy what they have, so that you can actually attack them directly and potentially win. And then I've got 2 copies of the Agent of Entropy, Uranus. Go ahead and make jokes now. This is only dark monster in this deck, but this is still a really good card because you can special summon this if you have Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, and he copies the level of an agent monster that you send to the graveyard with his effect. Meaning he's really good for being able to set up for a level 6 play, 7 play, level 8 synchro play, whatever you want, depending on what monster that you send to the graveyard. So he's really good for that. And I play 1 copy of Agent of Mercury Jupiter. You only need to play 1 copy of him in here. I only use him because of his level 4, so if I want to copy his level and just make Agent of Entropy level 4, this is the card that I bring out. Other than that, he's not the best. That's why I only have like the 1 copy in there for. I've got 3 copies of Agent of Creation Venus. She is the star player in this deck because she can, if you pay 500 life points, you can special summon a Mystic Shrine Ball from your deck. And you can activate this effect all the way up to 3 times per turn, meaning you just pay 1500 life points, and you can get 3 copies of your Ancient Shrine Ball. And this can be set up for your Link plays, Exceed plays, and Synchro plays, whatever that you want to do. So she's really, really good about being able to special summon cards to the field, and just really good at getting the deck to go off. Okay, and then, of course, with that, you got 3 copies of Ancient Shrine Ball. And Ancient Shrine Ball is very, very important because that's the card that's going to have you set up. This is the one that this is the one that you're using for the level 2 or lower. Excuse me a second. And all in all, this is what you're going to want. Sorry about that, I had to fix my camera a little bit. And then I've got 3 copies of Agent of Earth, Mystery Earth. This is the main tuner. When this card is normal summoned, you can search your deck for an agent monster, and if you have Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, you can search for Master Hyperion, and then you can special summon Master Hyperion through that effect, which is really, really helpful for this deck. And plus, since it's a tuner, it mainly goes with all the synchros that I've got in here. Then I've got 2 copies of Agent or Archlord Krista. Krista is so broken because you don't have to activate the effect by having 4 exactly fairy type monsters in your graveyard. You can just play Valhalla Hall of the Fallen, and it just stops your opponent from, neither player can special summon monsters as long as it remains face up on the field. So this card is a complete lock. If you go first and you get this card, it pretty much prevents them unless they like use Nibiru, or unless they use like infinite impermanence or something. This pretty much locks the entire field, which is helpful for you because obviously you're not going to be caring too much about doing that with field presence because you're playing her specifically for her attack power, and plus this deck is slower, so it doesn't matter. You're not focusing on synchro summoning and stuff. I just have a lot of synchros in this deck. Alright, and then 3 copies of Zeradius, Herald of Heaven. You don't have to run the 3, you can just put like 1 or 2. I have 3 just because I want that consistency. I want the ability to be able to get Sanctuary in the Sky on the field as quick as possible. That's the idea. So I can set up for all my plays and set up just to be able to synchro summon, Exceed Link, and all that. And then last but not least, for the monsters, I've got 2 copies of Hecatrus. This is a discard to allow you to get Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. And Valhalla the Hall of the Fame is a really great card because you can, once per turn, if you don't have any monsters, so if you have it in your hand, you can special summon a fairy type monster from your hand, which is what you're going to want to do for this deck to speed it up a little bit, because this deck isn't like super swarm heavy. You can turn it into like a super swarm heavy deck if you want, but that's like the best way to do it. Alright, that's going to be it for the monsters, guys. Now let's move on to the spells and traps. And once again, I do apologize for that camera. It fell off the pod that I had it on, so hopefully that didn't affect it too much. Okay, so I got 3 copies for the spells. Your typical Sanctuary in the Sky. This prevents any battle damage that your opponent does to you if you have fairy type monsters in the field, and this is what allows you to activate cards like Master Hyperion, Agent of Creation, not Agent of Creation, Agent of Mystery, the Uranus. It sets you up for that. And then I run 2 copies of the Sanctum of Parsaath. This is an acting way to get a Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, so this is another good way to... So if you don't have Sanctuary in the Sky and you have this, you can play this and it acts as it. Then you've got 2 copies of Valhalla Hall of the Fallen. You can run 3 if you want. I'm just running 2 because otherwise it does clog my deck just a little bit to run more than that, because you don't want to see it when you don't want it. You only want to see it in your opening hand or see it maybe on your second turn or something. And then I've got 2 copies of Celestial Transformation. You don't even have to run this. I do because I like the effect. I can special summon a level 4 or lower, or I can special summon a fairy type monster from my hand and just attack its half, and it's destroyed during the end phase. But it's a good way to get another special summon, so if I want on the field, because they can still activate their effects and stuff, and I can use it as a synchro, or I can set it up for an Exceed or Link play. Alright, and then last but not least for the spells, just the staples. 1 Swords, Dark Hole, Giant Trunade, but you can replace this with a Heavy Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster if you want. And then just 1 copy of Terraforming, just so with that consistency and I can get that Sanctuary in the Sky out onto the field. Alright, that's going to be it for the spells, so let's move on to the traps, guys. Alright, so we're going to play 3 copies of Divine Punishment. This is such an amazing and broken card. If you have Sanctuary in the Sky on the field, and you can negate any activation of a spell trap or affect monster's effect and destroy it. So pretty much whatever they play, you're going to be able to 9 times out of 10 negate it if you have Sanctuary in the Sky on the field. That's why I run 3 copies of this, because of how good it is. And then I've got 1 copy of Solemn Warning and 1 copy of Solemn Strike. This is also to keep the negates going. You don't have to play this. I'm playing it because I like to have a little bit more negates in this deck to be able to stop my opponent from doing too many crazy stuff. And I don't run Ash in here or Call by the Grave, so this is the best way to kind of like prevent them from doing crazy stuff. Alright, that's it for the deck, and let's move on to the extra deck. So I've got 1 copy of Agent or Angel of Zera. This is kind of flavor, based. I like it because it's Zera, it's a fairy type, and it goes with the theme. Avenging Knight Parsaath, Michael the Arc Lightsworn. This is good for destroying a card on the field just by paying 1,000 life points and then dumping 4 cards into your graveyard, so you can set up for if you want like Archlord Christia, or if you want to banish a card from the graveyard to special summon Master of Hyperion. Believe it or not, 1 Mist Worm, because you can get level 9 in here and have 3 monsters to do it, especially with the Mystic Shrine Ball and the Agent of Creation. Mephistus Horus for my level 6 play. For my level 5 play, Magical Android. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Black Feather Dark Rage Dragon. And then last for the synchros is going to be Stardust Spark Dragon. Now, you don't have to play these kinds. I'm playing these because a lot of these cards I like, and it actually does go with the deck and actually works well with it. Since this is majority synchro heavy deck, because I have a lot of tuners in here. I've got the Entropy Uranus, and I've got the Agent of Mystery Earth, and those are really easy to bring out. But you can swap out and choose whatever you want for it. Then for the Exceed, I've got Evil Swarm Extinction Knight to kind of wipe your opponent's board with a quick effect if they try to attack it, which is really good. And then Gachi Gachi Gentetsu to be able to prevent him from being destroyed. And all face-up monsters I control gain 200 attack and defense for each of the materials, so it's a good stopper. Alright, and then for the Link monsters, I've got 2 Hipposinogen, just for the power boost. 1 Decode Talker Extended, and this guy's actually really good for this deck because he just requires 2 effect monsters, and he becomes Decode Talker while he's on the field, and he gains 500 attack for each monster it points to. During my battle phase, the monster this card points to is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. It can make a second attack, so he's good for attacking once again. And then last but not least, I've got the Celestial Night Lord Parsef to kind of keep with the theme of like Parsef, mostly like angels, fairies. And this guy's actually really good. He just requires 2 fairy type monsters. Easy as heck to bring out, 2+. And I can discard a card to add Sanctuary in the Sky, or a card that designates it. So that actually allows you to search your deck, guys, for a card that is designated from Sanctuary in the Sky, such as like Mystery Uranus, Master Hyperion, whatever you want for it. And that's going to be it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was quick. The extra deck is kind of just like stuff that I've thrown together because of cards that I did like and everything. And this is actually, though, a really good, fun deck to play with if you haven't. It's fast, like faster than you would think. And I just have always liked the Agent archetype because it's different. And I like the mythology. I love Greek and Roman mythology, so the idea of being able to play with like Roman gods and goddesses is just something that's really cool and has always appealed to me. And that's just something, that's all I can really say about it. It's a really fun deck, and if you want a fun deck to play with that's not like super competitive and stuff, that it can be affordable, go ahead and pick this up. I don't know how much the structure decks are now. I actually got them when they were cheap, but if you're wanting for something different, please give it a try. You guys won't regret it. Alrighty, that's going to be it for this video and this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and with that, see you guys next time. Later.